Good morning, grade sevens. I hope you're all good. We're gonna start in the next minute or so. Please confirm if you can hear me. If you can hear me, please confirm with me. Please just type in yes on your chat box. Thank you for the confirmation. Okay, good morning again, grade sevens. Welcome again. I hope you enjoyed your long weekend. It's another week of coding, another week of fun activities. So before we start, please make sure that your mic is muted and your video is off. Right, so let's begin. Most of you know me by now. I'm Kevin Baloyi, a teacher at King David and also a co-producer of EdTech Summit Africa. And I consider myself a global-minded educator. So we're gonna go back to the KWL method again. And I'm sure by now you know what KWL stands for. It stands for what do you know? What do you want to know? And what have you learned, right? So today's focus is actually patterns. And then at the end of this lesson, we'll demonstrate an understanding that code follows a specific organization pattern, right? So coding also includes patterns. So right now on your chat box, I want you to tell me one thing that you know about patterns, right? But for now, can we just revisit the coding definition? Anyone who knows what coding is, can you quickly type on the chat box? Just a recap, just a reminder, so that we know that we are on the same page. I want you to type on the chat box for me. Answer the question, what is coding? I'm gonna be waiting for that answer right now. I'm just gonna give you a few seconds or a minute. Just one or two people, doesn't have to be everyone. Okay, it is giving a computer a task to do, right? So coding is actually telling a computer what to do, right? Yeah, it makes it possible for us to create computer software, apps, and websites. And then today we're gonna focus on patterns. And with those patterns, it will give you an idea if you want to create a game, right? So if there's a specific game that you want to create, focus on today's lesson on patterns, and then you'll see how you can create your own game. Okay, so let's jump straight into it. So quickly, I want you to tell me, what do you know about patterns? Think about mathematics, think about English, think about any subject, right? Because coding doesn't only cover IT, it covers all the subjects. So when you hear the term patterns, I want you to think of all these subjects. Think about the definition of what a pattern is. Right. Anyone? What is a pattern? something that repeats, right? So that's the simple term for patterns, simple definition, right? So if you can go to maths and then if you can see 1 squared is 1, 2 squared is 4, 3 squared is 9, etc. That's a pattern, right? They follow each other. It's something that repeats, right? Okay. And then even if you go to art, for example, you'll see that colors and shapes and everything, those are also patterns, right? So today we're only going to focus on coding patterns because we're doing coding, right? Okay. So I want you to think of the things that you want to know about coding. If there's something specific that you want to know about coding patterns, I want you to type on the chat box, but just follow the lesson, listen to me, and then you probably won't have any questions after this, right? But if there's something specific that you want to know about coding patterns, please feel free to ask me questions right now. Okay. So How said a pattern is something that repeats, right? So if you can look at this loop puzzle, we spoke about loops last week. So if I'm gonna put these codes in, if I'm gonna put these blocks inside the loop and tell it to repeat this 6 times, and then this is a picture that you're gonna see, right? This is a picture that you're gonna get. So using this code, you'll actually draw this pattern. You'll move this guy up until he gets to that point, right? Because it says here, move forward by 50 pixels, 10 right, move forward and then 10 left, right? And it repeats 6 times. If you go back to that picture, you will see it's also 6 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, right? Okay, so that's your workspace. Those are your blocks, and then that's your picture, and that's your sprite. The sprite, remember, is your character. So you have to direct that character up until it gets to that end, right? So you have to use these codes. And remember, on your workspace, always pay attention to that. It will tell you how many blocks it needs. So if you put more than that, sometimes your code won't run because you have more blocks. They specifically wanted 7 blocks for this. Hence, I had 7 blocks, right? And then always remember to read your instructions before attempting anything. Always read instructions. It's very important. Okay. So normally when you go to your web browser, either you're using Google Chrome or you're using Safari or Internet Explorer or anything, right? When I say to you, when I give you a specific link, I don't want you to type it on the search engine. I want you to type it on the link bar up here, right? So right now we're gonna go straight into our coding. We're gonna focus on our patterns. And there's a specific link that you can copy right now and work on it later, or you can work on it right now, right? So your link is bit.ly/1212 code 2121, right? So as you type that over here, it will take you straight to that picture, the picture that I showed you. Did you make up the word sprite and how do you spell it? Okay, a sprite is actually a character, right? So in coding, we don't call it character, we call it a sprite. So it's Sprite. It's a sprite, right? I didn't make up the word, Martin. Okay, let's move on. So please make sure you take a picture of this or you can watch it later. Please make sure you copy it down because that's where we're gonna draw our patterns, right? So right now I'm gonna go there and we're gonna do this thing together. Please make sure you follow the instructions. Okay, let's jump straight into it. Okay, so I'm gonna play this quick video before we can start. And then please make sure you listen to this video attentively, and then we're gonna begin with our patterns.
You wouldn't qualify for the race if you don't have people that are proficient in computer sciences because of how much data the cars collect and the necessity to be able to have people that can write programs that to figure out how you can continue to build performance. In these puzzles, you'll be an artist that uses a pencil to draw different shapes, so wherever your artist goes, it will draw a line behind it. To move around the canvas, you'll use the move forward block. Here, the move forward block says move forward by 100 pixels. When we hit run, what happens? The artist moves forward a certain amount, and that amount is 100 pixels. Pixels are basically very tiny squares on your computer screen. The other block we have in this puzzle says turn right by 90 degrees. And when we drag that out, that makes our artist turn a certain amount. So you can play around with how far you want the artist to turn. This is a 90-degree turn. And this is a 120-degree turn. And remember, you can change these values by clicking the arrows next to the numbers for pixels and degrees. Enjoy drawing with your artist.
Okay, did everyone hear the video? Did everyone understand the video? Salim, you're saying, where do I start? Don't worry, we're gonna start right now. Okay, Buitumelo, you didn't understand the video. Okay, so basically he was explaining what pixels are and then how to draw using codes, right? So right now we're gonna do exactly that. We're gonna go through our codes and then you're gonna start coding, right? If you can, please do it with me. If you can't do it right now, if you wanna watch first and do it later, then it's also fine. Okay, so always remember, read your instructions before you start. Your instructions are your guideline. They help you all the time, right? And then if I click on show code, it's gonna show me what's actually typed there, right? What program is actually there. Okay, what a lovely day. Help the artist cover his flowers before the winter by moving forward by 60 pixels. Already we have that 60, right? So the width, that's the size of that, but you're gonna have to move forward by 60 pixels, right? Okay, let's replay that. Can you see that? And then again, you can also change your color. Can change your pattern, can change your color, but for now, let's not focus on that because our workspace requires 3 blocks out of 3. So that's what we have right now. So let's continue. So reset, run, then continue. Okay. Then it's gonna tell you again, add some beauty by repeating that step 5 times, changing to random color between each move. Okay, so let's set our color. It says random, right? Random color. That's what we want. And then how many times are we moving forward? 5 times. So we're gonna take our loop, right? Let's put that inside. And then you're gonna move forward. How many times? 5. So you're gonna change the 4 to a 5. Then you're gonna run your program. And then again, you can choose whether you want your sprite to move slow or to move fast. It's up to you, right? Then when you run the program, that's what you're gonna see. Okay, let's focus on that picture for now. Can you see different colors? Why? Because I set the colors to random colors. So it's gonna change colors and colors. It doesn't have to be one specific color, right? Okay. Continue. Okay, you can watch this video at your own time. I'm not gonna play this video right now. So we're gonna continue up until the end, and then I'm gonna give you time to actually explore and do it yourself. Okay, it says draw the colorful line 5 times again, this time using a repeat loop. So here on number 3, practice 3, I actually used the repeat puzzle. So I'm gonna do the same thing again. This time around, I'm not gonna set any colors or anything. So I'm gonna move forward 5 times. Remember, your workspace tells you how many blocks it needs, right? So we have 4 blocks out of 4. If I remove that, can you see that it changes? That's 3 now, right? Okay, I'm gonna put that inside. Then I'm gonna run my program. Right. Okay, so now we need to draw a star, right? We are drawing a star, and remember, always read your instructions, because without the instructions, you won't be able to know what to do, right? So let's check our workspace. It needs 5 blocks. There are 2 already, so we need to add 3. Okay, so let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's gonna repeat 5 times. Let's change that to a 5. And then remember, you have to move forward first. That's what the instruction is telling us. You move forward, and then you turn right by 144 degrees. And then you can run our program. Right. Do you see that? So it's easy for us to actually draw by following the instructions. Okay, so now we need to use 50 pixels long and 50 pixels tall, and then need to turn 90 degrees, right? So remember, your sprite's direction is your direction. If he's facing that way and you're facing the same direction, your left is his left, your right is his right. Okay, so we're gonna move forward. So, okay, again, workspace, 7 blocks. Gonna move forward, turn right, 90 degrees. Remember, you move forward by 50 pixels, like as instructed, and then you turn 90 degrees, right? So that's 90 degrees. You can change that. You can either use that or you can just type it in, right? Okay, so let's see if we're on the right track so far. So far, we've used 4 blocks instead of 7. So let's see if we're on the right track. Can you see that? Move forward and then it turned. Now he has to move forward again. And then turn. Is it left or right? It's gonna be your left, right? So because we are doing this how many times? 1, 2, 3. We're gonna have to use this 3 times, right? So we have 7 blocks out of 7. And then let's run our program. And bear in mind, this is just for practice, but at the end, you're gonna be able to actually use your own patterns, use your own colors, and just create anything that you wanna create, draw anything that you wanna draw, right? Just follow the instructions. Okay, that's the one that I created earlier on, the one that I showed you on the picture in the PowerPoint slide. So we're just gonna change the 3 to a 6. Why 6? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? So let's run our program. Okay, again, remember you can speed up or slow it down. So this time around, let's just speed it up a bit. Can you see that? Okay. Remember we spoke about debugging last week, right? Told you that the program will give you codes, and then debugging is actually finding and fixing errors, right? So if there's an error, you have to find it and fix it. Already we know there's an error. Why? Because instead of 7 blocks, they gave us 18. So we need to eliminate some of the blocks. Let's read our code. It says move forward by 50, 10 right, 99 degrees, move forward by 50, 10 left, 99 degrees, right? So forward, right, forward, left, forward, right, forward, left. It's repeating the same thing. So instead of keeping all these codes, you're gonna remove them, delete everything, and then you're gonna take the loop, put it there. Then you're gonna run our program. Done. So we focused on the loop and you will see as you proceed, you're gonna have to use more and more of those, right? Because some programs won't allow you to run them if they won't allow you to run them if you have more than what's required. So if you have 18 blocks, then let's see if you run the program. See, it says here not quite. You have to use a block you aren't using, right? So we're gonna do the same thing again. We're gonna go to, let me see, forward right. Everything is forward right. So we're gonna remove everything. Let's just put it here for peace sake. And then how many times does it go? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we're gonna take the loop, change the 4 to an 8. Then we're gonna reset and run our program. So you see, they gave you codes that were correct, but they use a lot of blocks. So that's where debugging comes in. You need to make sure you focus. May you please turn off your cameras? Cameras off, please. They're distracting. Thank you. Okay, let's continue. So this is our last one. It says solve this puzzle by drawing a square with 200 pixel side, right? So we're gonna move forward, 10 right, move forward, 10 left. Remember 90 degrees, so that's your 90 degrees. So make sure it's on 90 degrees. If we do that, it's gonna move forward, 10 right, and then move forward, and then it's gonna stop here. Why is that so? Because there's no loop, right? So we need to use the loop. If you can run the program right now, that's where it's gonna end. But if we use the loop, because a square has 4 sides, it repeats 4 times, you're gonna click run. Oops, my mistake. Okay, so we're gonna move forward, 10 right, move forward, then 10, okay. There you go, right? Oh, let's change that to a 2. Let's delete that. Done, right? So that's the end of our drawing course. Right now, I want you to make sure that at your own time, at your own space, you practice these things, and I'm gonna give you more activities to do at your own time. So right now, I want us to go back to our lesson. Okay. There we go. Okay. Remember, if you can't access that link, you can also go there manually. You can actually go to code.org, you click on learn, and then under grades K to 5, you're going to click learn more. Then you're going to go to course D and choose lesson 8. That's where we're drawing. We're drawing on lesson 8 on course D, right? Okay. Quick question before we can continue, before we can explore other things. What have you learned today? Just one or two things that you've learned. I'm going to give you time. Please write that on the chat box. What have you learned today? You can either type it on the chat box or you can unmute yourself and then share with us what you've learned today. Feel free to unmute yourself and then share what you've learned today. Okay, you learn how to repeat. That's how. And then debugging. Okay. So repeat, that's your loop. And then you also learn debugging. Two people learned two different things today. Loop. How to sketch, right? So today's focus was focused on pattern and sketching. So I'm glad you mentioned that you've learned how to sketch. But please make sure you practice, because if you don't, if you're only gonna be watching me do it, that's all you're gonna have. If you practice, then you're gonna be perfect. And please make sure you try this out with your friends and family. Okay, Martin, you learned what the sprite is, right? So in coding, there are specific languages, right? So there's a specific language that you use when you code. So we don't call them characters, we call them sprites, right? S-P-R-I-T-E. Anything else, anyone? Okay, shall we move on? Okay, I've learned what pixels are and debugging, right? Awesome. Okay, please write this down for more practice. So bit.ly/1212 practice, right? Why? Because practice makes perfect. You can't learn something and not practice using that thing. For example, if you, I believe everyone is doing maths here. In maths, when you had a lesson with your teacher, when you get home or for your homework or whatever, or during break, you practice, right? You practice maths, you don't study maths. So coding as well, you have to practice and practice and practice. So Martin says, I've learned how to do patterns in coding. Thank you for sharing, Martin. Amanda learned she learned what pixels are and what debugging is, right? So I want you to practice and practice and practice. So the practice activity that I gave you actually looks like this. It's on course C. It's not on course D, it's on course C. It looks like that. It should be easy for you to practice, because right here it doesn't require you to use degrees or anything. You're just using these blocks with specific lines on them, directions and stuff. So what I want you to do is practice with this first before you can actually go to course D, right? It becomes more complex as you go on. It will ask you to draw flowers using elephants or using certain animals, right? It becomes fun. Okay, Mashudu, if you have any question, please ask it now. You can unmute yourself because you just said you don't understand anything. Please unmute yourself and ask me anything right now. What is it that you don't understand? And then I will go back and explain step by step. because you don't want to leave this place with one or two people not understanding anything. We need to make sure that everyone understands so that we are all on the same page, we all work together, right? So, Mashudu, please unmute yourself. Mashudu. Okay, Mashudu is asking what is coding. So coding is, okay, let's go back to our definition. So it's actually telling your computer what to do, right? Actually directing your sprite in simple terms, right? So let's go back to our coding definition. Okay, so coding is a method of giving instructions to a computer to perform a specific task. So what you tell a computer is not that smart, right? Always remember a computer is not that smart because whatever you type in, whatever input you put there, it's going to give you that specific output, right? If you're going to type 1 + 1 is equal to 5, then that's what you're going to see on your screen. But you know that that's not correct, right? So you know if you type 1 + 1 equals to 2, if you doing a worksheet or something, then that's gonna, okay. So coding is what makes it possible for us to create computer softwares, apps, and website, right? So let's take a practical example. If your mom gives you money and says, please go and buy bread for me, right? You are going to follow that instruction and perform that specific task, right? So she tells you what to do and you do that. So with coding, you tell a computer what to do and the computer does that, right? Okay. So let's go to that practice activity quickly before we move on to other things. Let's go back to the code, the practice activity. Okay, so I'm just gonna type it up here, bit.ly/1212 practice, right? Okay, I'm gonna skip the video for now. You're gonna watch the video at your own time, at your own space. And then you just do anything you wanna do here, right? Anything that you wanna do, watch the videos, make sure you watch the videos for specific instructions. Then the artist is trying to draw a line 6 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? So we're gonna change that 4 to a 6, and you're going to run our program. Okay, now it wants us to move 7 times. So we're gonna take that, change it to a 7, then use that. Done. Remember, your workspace tells you how many blocks it needs. Okay, this is quite interesting because there's also a block that says jump, right? So you're gonna move forward and then jump, move forward, jump, move forward, jump. How many times? Is 3 correct? We don't know. Let's check. If we change it to a 4, what's gonna happen? 1, 2, 3, 4. Because they gave us 3, we change the 3 to a 4. Then we're gonna run the program. See? Continue. Okay. So we are going to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we repeat that 5 times. Okay, so we're gonna repeat how many times? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? So we change that to a 7. Then you move up first. Look at your sprite and look at the direction of your sprite, right? You're gonna move up first, and then you're gonna turn left, right? Or you're moving west. Okay, so here's the picture. Here's your practice activity. This is what I want you to focus on. I'm not gonna do this with you. I want you to do it on your own, because you can see that there are a lot of corners, and I want you to practice that using the information that I gave to you, using the knowledge that you have right now, right? Okay. Looks like the people who just came in now, welcome guys. We are almost done with our lesson, but if you have any questions, any specific questions right now, please feel free to ask. Okay, right now, if you can go into your app store or your Play Store on your phone and download Code Monkey, that would be great. That's also a coding game that you can play on your phone, because anyways, you're on your phone all the time. So how about you do something productive? Download the app Code Monkey, and then you can start coding on your phone, right? Alternatively, you can practice more on code.org, and then you're going to start with Scratch on Wednesday, right? We're going to start with Scratch on Wednesday. That's when you're going to start having ideas on what to design, right? You're going to focus specifically on games first, before we can go into apps and before we can go into websites. So we're going to focus on games first. Sir, is there coding on PS4? Yes, or Xbox? Yes. Every game that you play, coding was included, right? Even your appliances at home, your machines, your microwave, your laundry machine, there was coding involved, right? Because if you tell your microwave that you want it to warm your food for 3 minutes, it will do exactly that, right? So it was coded to actually follow those instructions. Coding was also involved. Thank you for your question, Oluetu. Okay, so tomorrow, before we start, I'm gonna need proof that you actually did your activities, right? I'm gonna ask you questions, and if you fail to answer, then I will know that you didn't do your activity. Okay, so for tomorrow, we're going to identify and apply different programming elements to solve a problem. What problem? Your variables, conditions, loops, and functions, etc. Right? So we're gonna focus on that, identifying and applying different programming elements, right? Because coding is actually part of problem solving, right? So they give us a problem, and then you're gonna have to study that problem, look through it, and then you're gonna have to solve the problem, right? Ranzu, what do you mean I'm gonna show you a video? What kind of video? Okay. Again, please feel free to email me if you have any specific questions, or if there are things that you have created already and you want to share with me. Please feel free to drop me an email at kevinbaloi@gmail.com. And right now, I'm gonna open this opportunity for questions. If you didn't understand anything, please type it on the chat box, or you can unmute yourself and ask me. So right now, this is Q&A, questions and answers. If you have any specific questions, or if there's something that you didn't understand, please make sure you ask me now. We still have a bit of time. So I'm gonna open up for questions. I'm going to open up for questions. If you have any questions. Okay, so what's the activity? So the activity is on code.org. I gave you two links, right? I gave you this one. So that's the one that we started with, right? So if you can type this here on your link bar, don't type this bit.ly on your search engine, right? So there's a difference between a search engine and a link bar, right? So the code, the link that I gave to you, please type it up here, right? Ranzu, I don't understand. Okay, Salim. So what's gonna happen is, where do you start? So when you go there and you type this link, the link that I gave to you, this one here, and then this is where you are going to start, right? This is where you are going to start. That's your lesson 8. It will take you straight to the activity that we did today, and I want you to practice that on your own. Any other questions? Runs, what do you mean you want to see the activity? What is the code again? Okay, I'm gonna take you back to that. So bit.ly/1212 code 2121. Please write this down. It will take you straight to that. Or alternatively, you can go to code.org and then choose course D, right? Then under course D, you go to lesson 8 and then it will take you straight to this page. Any other questions? I did not see the code. What is the code again? Okay, sorry, let me just keep it here. Let me just leave it there for you guys to see it, and please write it down and then you can practice at your own time, at your own space. Anything else, grade 7s? Okay, if there's nothing, please feel free to email me at kevinbaloi@gmail.com. If you have any specific questions, please do so. If there's nothing else, I'm gonna have to say enjoy the rest of your day. I'll see you tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of your day, enjoy all the other lessons, and please make sure you wash your hands all the time. Keep safe, guys. Right. Goodbye, everyone. See you tomorrow. Bye, everyone. Bye, Martin. Bye, Ranzu. Bye, Amanda. Bye, Little Trip.